Hi, this is Nikki, and I'm here to share messages that I get from Spirit for all of us who are all on this journey to love and to reunite with our divine vibrational matches in this lifetime. And this is part 2 of today's message. And the reason why I'm doing 2 messages today is just because there has been powerful messages coming through around sort of parallel universes and collapsing all of the other dimensions into one. And then what happened is, I mean, it's always like a crazy world we live in, a crazy dimension, right? If you ask to be tapped into the highest dimension, that's the message. That's what I just heard. It's asked to be tapped into the highest dimension for you and your soul. And so today I had my dishwasher started leaking, so I called up a plumber who actually I'd forgotten, but I've had him before, and he runs a spiritual group and is a shaman, which is brilliant. So we just had this just gorgeous chat around, you know, what he's been experiencing, and it's so nice, you know, when you speak to somebody that you can have a conversation with and they don't look at you like you're completely crazy, you know. And it was just a really lovely thing. Anyway, we talked about collapsing dimensions, or, you know, different dimensional realities, which is kind of, you know, it's mind-blowing, right? But that's the thing. It is... so the message is... I feel a bit overwhelmed today. I don't know whether anyone else does, but I feel a bit like kind of overwhelmed by how magical it is. Kind of like the bigger concept of it. Actually not so much about twin flame. It's more like the whole thing and what we're here to do to ground energies and to live in the light and all of that stuff. And you know, so basically the message has been about collapsing those realities to live in the highest and best path. And so I was just thinking to myself, well, you know, that's all well and good that we get that guidance, but actually in practice, of course, how are we supposed to actually do that? Because life gets in the way, and lessons, and, you know, all of that stuff. So today I thought I'm going to ask the question, and I'm going to use the sacred geometry activation and also the Work Your Light deck. And the question that I'm asking is, okay, well, so we're being guided that we need to collapse dimensions and anchor these connections into this physical one. And also that we know that that's difficult. We appreciate that you know, Spirit is telling us that they support us in that. So I am asking the question, okay, well, how? How? So that is the question that I'm asking. As I've been doing this, I've been pulling, shuffling. So, and the message is this: transition. 43, number 7. 7 is the number of the soul. Transition is about change. So, understanding that we are in a transition phase. So, this is what the guidance is. I mean, I had actually, as I was looking down and I was shuffling, that is the card that caught my eye in the shuffle. So, transition can be described as the passage from one stage to another, however deeply or mildly impacts our sorry, I mean, I feel a bit all like spacey today. However deeply or mildly impacts our lives, transition always implies change of some sort, and most of us are afraid of change. We want things to stay the same. We want to stay in the comfort zone we've created. Unfortunately, change is the one certainty in life that we can all count on. Change is necessary to allow room for the new to emerge and the old to pass. Change is necessary for growth to occur. Change is a fundamental universal law. Transition describes this process of change, a time when things are moving, morphing, and shifting. And in the midst of this process, it is common for nothing to feel clear, comfortable, or safe. Just like I was saying, like, it's great that your guidance says just, collapse all dimensions. And I'm like, yeah. How? So it's like, yes, it's common for nothing to feel clear, comfortable, or safe. So that's the thing. It's all about intent, isn't it? In our human minds, we want to know, but how? It's like we need to have a step-by-step process, but actually it's the intent that we send out there. That's the power. The power is, I intend to be living my highest and best path, and then surrendering that. That's the beauty. So being pushed and pulled from our existing state into one that is unfamiliar isn't easy, and the most feared transition of all is one we all face eventually, death. The transition from our physical bodies to the world of spirit. Because we have so little understanding of the true nature of our existence and of our connection to the cosmos, we tend to fear death as a perceived ending. As in this activation, the snake is a traditional symbol for death and transition in many cultures, and belief systems due to its perceived ability to be reborn many times during its lifetime by shedding its skin. Behind it, the background shows not only the grid of the flower of life, the connection with the earth plane, but also the Merkaba, a reference to our existential ability to traverse between layers of time and dimension. The colours indigo, violet and magenta are indications of our deep spiritual connection to the cosmos and the whole of existence, making any transition but a moment in an ongoing infinite journey. And the activation is, take a moment to look at the transition image, and how do you flow with the transitions in your life? What transitions are you afraid of? Look at the last transition that you went through and remember the gifts that came because of it. What will your next transition be? Go outside and see how nature goes through a constant cycle of death and rebirth in order to continue life. Celebrate your transitions. So as we progress out of the old into the new, we are shedding skin, literally. And so that's what it's saying, as in we have to be flowing with the changes. So that is the guidance from the sacred activation, sacred geometry. And then work your light. I'm asking the same question. How do we help to collapse, to live on our highest path, to help us in these connections? So let's have a look. Play. My favourite card in this deck is remember to have fun along the way. So play. Don't let remember that we are here to be playful, and you can feel that in your energy if you dance around and just allow yourself to be silly and play. So stop taking life so seriously. Your spirit needs to have some fun. The more you play, the more inspiration will follow. Take some time out to do something without being attached to the outcome. You are being called to rest and play and learn to have more fun. Do something that makes you laugh, the best medicine around. Call up a friend that you can be silly with and take your inner child on a date. The more you switch off your mind, the more room your spirit has to whisper and guide you. When we do things without being attached to the outcome, ideas, clarity, guidance, and solutions have the space to drop in. The left and right hemispheres of the brain can begin talking to each other, making play a compulsory part of your day and schedule it. Spend more time doing things just because you love to do them, just because they bring you joy and light you up. If you follow what lights you up, you will light up the world without even trying. For when you are lit up, you are in your spirit, and when you're in your spirit, you fall into flow with life. How do you play? What do you do to have fun, and what lights you up? If you have been working hard lately, it is time to celebrate how far you have come, all that you've achieved. Don't rush on to the next thing. Take a moment to throw a party, go on vacation, or have some fun. So, that is the message. that is the message, to say go and have some fun, and you know, move through these energies, trust in the transition that you're going through, and we are all going through, you know, every day we're transitioning more and more through energies all the time. And you know, trust in you, basically trust in your intuition. I'm going to pull one for guidance, to say from the Enchanted Map. Okay, I'm just going to ask, okay, what guidance do we need? So we've had play, we've had acceptance of the change, and now one more. Let's have some practical guidance on what we need to do. And it is, oh, look at that, coming apart from the old self. You know, coming apart from that part of you that holds on to bad habits, and that part of you that wants to stay in the comfort zone and wants to stay in what we know, because as humans we like to know things, and that's a big part of this pathway, isn't it? Is to, very often we get, you know, pushed into places, jobs, leaving jobs, going into complete uncertainty in life, and that's everything that, you know, like the human experience pushes against, because we like to know certainty and we like to know, you know, future. And that's what this is all about, is change. There is one thing, and we are constantly going to be pushed to go into places that we never thought we would be going. So there you go, that is the message for today. I really hope that helps. I just was really drawn to do it because the guides kept saying about parallel universes and collapse all of the other dimensions, and I was like, I know, but some guidance would be good, thank you. So there we go, that is the guidance for today. Oh look, and the next card was Spirit. I just did one more and it was Spirit, and this is saying that their spirit is all around you. The spirit is placed, is basically saying this, you know, spirit is in everything. Your twin spirit is in everything around you. And again, just to remember that, because you're doing it in all of the other dimensions. You're like, just like the letter. Oh, in fact, I'm going to finish by reading out the channel letter that I did this morning, which is where all this message sort of has come from, because it's just basically saying, remembering that we are together in all the other dimensions, and we've got to bring those connections into the physical by anchoring that down. So the message, so this is it. So you have been doing good work. You have been fueling the fire of love in your soul. I feel this in me. I feel a yearning for change in my life, a yearning for meaning, for depth, for fulfillment. There is something missing in my life, and it's love. I feel lonely. My heart needs you. My soul wants you. The eternal part of me is calling for you. I know our souls are together. We are skipping around the multiverse, having an amazing time. I just so wish we could transport ourselves into those other dimensions so we could speed up our earthly process. The job feels like it's going on and on forever. I love that bit. I love that bit at the end where it goes, the job, obviously meaning this physical dimension, feels like it's going on and on forever. And I'm sure that we all feel that at some points. We're like, you know, seriously, I mean, just how long? But of course, that's human nature, right? We have just got to keep going, keep trusting in divine timing, keep trusting in, yeah, the tick-tock of the divine clock. Okay, really hope that helps. If you would like to have a healing, a reading, a channeling, or to get any of my books, then please do. All details are in the description box against the video. But in the meantime, I hope you stay well, stay bright, and stay switched on to the light. See ya, bye.